If you don't know about flyer deals on Instacart, this message is for you. Flyer deals are like strolling through your favorite store looking for deals, but you're scrolling your phone, and maybe you're in bed. Because getting delivery doesn't mean you have to miss deals like you'd get at the store, like the one creamer that doesn't make your stomach hurt, or the pasta sauce you can't not buy when it's on sale. So download the Instacart app, shop flyers, and never miss a deal on one of your favorites. Plus, get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes.
She said she needed someone to talk to. He thought she just needed a friend, or maybe a fling. 2 weeks after meeting, they were in bed. 2 days later, her husband was dead. In this raw interrogation, a neighbor spills on sex, secrets, and the shock of a Christmas Eve murder he never saw coming. Let's get into it.
Is it a girl you're trying to have a relationship with, or is it just something that happened? Is to go over what we kind of spoke about already. I gave you my card earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Today is December 28th. And Darryl, could you raise your right hand again for me? And could you swear everything about telling me the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
And I swore you in over an hour ago, correct, at your job?
That's correct.
All I wanted to do was go over again so we have everything squared away and kind of in order. Is one is that last night, late yesterday evening, you called a deputy and said, "Listen, I need to speak with a detective."
I just
About
went to
the case.
the Forest Oaks Police Department. I just drove up and just see if I could I didn't know
Right.
that you wasn't there. Or
Right, and
anything.
you had
I just wanted to get off my chest
Well-
because I was worried.
just for me to go over what you had said. Is that you lived across the street from Karen? How do you say her last name?
I have no idea.
Okay, what's her husband's name?
Alan.
Okay, all right. Then this is
I looked at
a picture of
Karen.
okay the girl that we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Last name is Baragi.
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 Okay.
Right.
I see
I
your
got-
last name, but
I
I
got
don't know.
I got a phone call last night saying that. Just let me go over what I had a phone call last night from a sergeant who said that they got a call from you, and you wanted to speak with somebody, had to get some stuff off your chest. You about Karen and your relationship with her. You live right across the street. I called you last night, and you basically said, "I want to meet with you because I had a sexual relationship with her, and I didn't know about anything as far as her wanting to harm her husband, but I just want to let you know about the relationship." So I met with you today about, right now the time is going on right about, it's 3:30 right now, but I've been with you for probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. You work at
Tech.
Tech, and that's the place I drove to in Hudson.
That's correct. Yes.
And that is, right. Earth Tech. What is Suncoast Concrete?
That's next door. They don't have anything to do with us. It's a totally different company. They do, like house slabs, sidewalks. They do the outside concrete material. All we do is the sinkholes for companies or homes, businesses. All our grout goes underneath the ground, and
Okay.
we don't need no outside people to help us or anything.
All right, and then just to kind of go over a little bit, while we were talking about this, you had mentioned that, stop me when I'm wrong, that you moved in with a girl by the name of Trish, directly across the street. And Trish is the owner of the home. You're a roommate with Trish. Trish had some AC trouble. It's been a month you've been there about. Trish had some AC trouble. Then across the street, Trish made contact with.
We haven't been there a month.
Not even a month?
No, because when we moved in,
Okay, under a month? Okay.
a week.
For what it's worth, Trish was having some AC trouble. The guy across the street had an AC truck, I guess, out front, and Trish made contact with Alan, and Alan had a wife named Karen, and one thing led to another, and he did some AC work. You and Trish developed a relationship, a neighborhood relationship with a girl across the street named Karen, who used to come over in the evening time or in the afternoon and would kind of let you guys know about her personal life, and you learned things
This was
about
all
her.
after when we first met. Is we had AC problems, and we seen the truck sitting over there. She just kind of went around the neighborhood introducing herself. We're new neighbors and everything, and we realized.
Go ahead, talk about that.
And we realized that we were having AC problems, and figured what he might charge a good rate since we're neighbors and everything. We just moved in a neighborhood, and get a better rate than a regular AC company just coming over, and he just he would fix it the next day. He looked at it, and he kind of had a thought of what the problem was and came over and fixed it for like $65. And Trish has put a lot of money into the home.
Okay.
And
all right, but that's basically how you met. And then you had talked a little bit about that however it happened, Karen used to just come over and hang out at your house with you and Trish, correct?
That's correct.
You've never actually been inside Karen's house.
No.
She just came over as a friend, as a neighbor, socializing.
Mm-hmm.
That socializing turned into getting more detailed about her personal life, that she's having troubles with her husband.
Yes.
That there's rocky roads, you might say. This is kind of what you were telling me. Is this accurate, what you were telling me earlier?
Yes.
Okay. And you had mentioned that sometime during this contact, when you socialized with her, the relationship developed a little bit further into the physical relationship, correct?
Correct.
This was pretty much recent, within the last week or two.
Yes, sir.
Just if you could just maybe give more, just giving me a little more detail about what happened there. How did you guys develop into how did it go from, Karen, the neighbor, hanging out with you and Trish, to Karen and Daryl hanging out together?
Well, Trish, she works nighttime in the Citrus County Jail, and she leaves around 5 in the evening. So when she leaves, Karen comes over and just hang out, watch movies and horror movies, and
everybody has a different description of what a horror movie is. Is there anything particular?
To me, it's like all horror movies are the same.
Okay, just a normal
everyday horror movie.
Okay.
Nothing, I can see anything different. And
so now you guys are basically watching movies together, hanging out.
That's it.
Okay, because you're not married. You're renting a room.
Mm-hmm.
Karen's across the street. What did you know about her that you guys were hanging out? Because you knew she was married. What did you know about her that at that time? Was she in a happy relationship with her husband? Was she not in a happy relationship with her husband?
She was in an unhappy relationship, and
okay.
She wanted to come over to the neighbors with her arms open, looking for somebody to talk to, and like a new friend and someone to talk to. She was just unhappy and didn't want to be home.
Okay.
So Trish, she opened the door, told her, come on in, we can talk, because we're good people. Me and Trish, we've been together like 3 years as roommates. She helped me out, I needed a place to move. And so, both of us were real good people and just kind of hard people. We'd get along with anybody, that would, want to get along with us. And, but we don't do any kind of drugs. I drink a beer once in a while. I'm not an alcoholic or nothing. And she saw that we're good people, that we're real, good down-to-earth people, and she liked it, that somebody she could come to and talk to. And that's how it all started. And it started day after day. it's everything about Alan and looking for him to move out. She was glad when he can leave, you know, so she could change the locks in the garage door and everything.
In your opinion, like this is strictly your opinion, doesn't change what I've already done in my report. Or in your opinion, just knowing her, did it seem like she was looking forward to him to move out so she can start a new life, or was she trying to get things uh, back to normal with her husband, or did she just want him gone, or was he already leaving? Did she seem happy he was leaving? Did she seem upset that he was leaving? Did she seem anxious to have him go? Or did she seem sad that he was going?
I think it was both ways. She was happy to see him go, but she wasn't happy to see him go. She loved him.
Okay.
It was both ways.
Okay.
She did love him, but she was also upset with him. And she didn't really want him to go,
Okay.
but she did want him to go.
I understand. Now, we're still in the month of December. It's December 28th. Okay. Christmas was just a few days ago, this past weekend. Okay. Christmas Eve, she killed her husband. Okay. This is just about 4 days ago. Now, that's just what the news says. That's what my report says. That's what happened. Now, the week before Christmas, last week, you showed me a lot of text messages on your phone, and we're trying to copy those right now, with your permission, of course.
All right.
And you had said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When did you've known her? Did you know Karen the month of November of this year? Or is it, when did you move into the house?
I believe it was December 8th.
Okay. So between December 8th and the 23rd is the last time you had a text message, right?
That's right.
So like basically 2 weeks. Between the 8th and the 23rd is just over, it's like 2 weeks you've known her. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it safe to say that you've known Karen Baragi for only 2 weeks?
See.
Daryl, I'm just approximating it.
Okay.
Is it approximately
Yes.
you've only known her 2 weeks?
2 weeks, okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to answer
Okay.
right, that's all.
Well, within that 2 weeks, you had intercourse with her at
Yes,
your
sir.
house. The first day you met her, the second day, the first week, when? When did you have sex with her? How long did you know her before you had sex with her?
Maybe like 6 days, maybe 5 days.
Without it, no one's going to hold anybody to any date. And like I said, this is only so I have an idea of what everybody's thinking at the time and how their relationship. I don't know anything about her except what I hear from her and her parents and friends and you. Daryl, about a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. How did that friendship relationship of hi, I'm the neighbor, then she's telling you she's got problems. How did that develop into a sexual relationship, and how fast did that develop?
It didn't. I'm trying to say the right thing. It was.
Hold on a second.
It didn't build it to. It builds into just like a friendship relationship.
Okay.
But when the sexual, it just like a fling. It wasn't
a casual relationship thing,
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
nothing like I love you.
Okay.
I want to be with you after he's gone or
Okay.
anything like that. It just happened, and
and that's what I understand that. Okay.
nothing said like we're gonna start a relationship. I love you. I want to be with you after he's gone. Nothing like that.
Okay.
It was nothing.
All right. That was what, about a week ago
Yes,
at
sir.
your house. Okay. And if somebody said, I don't think they had a sexual relationship, and I think Daryl's lying, what would you say?
No problem. I would say, unless I was in the courtroom. But other than that, I would just go, I wouldn't argue with somebody over it. If you don't think it happened, it didn't.
Okay.
But in the courtroom, of course, or with you or
you had so there was nothing, you guys weren't planning on moving in together? Did she ever talk to you about leaving or when her husband moves out that you and her would, continue a relationship?
No.
Was that even, because Daryl, I'm going to be telling you just showed me probably about 100 different text messages from her.
Right.
You and her texting the 21st of December, the 22nd, the 23rd, and you guys have probably, it seems to be that boyfriend-girlfriend texting. What are you doing? You want to have sex later? You want to go down on me later? This is not like, hi, how you doing, neighbor? This is the fling relationship.
We haven't got to know, the way I look at it, we haven't got to know each other. And plus, she wasn't divorced and he wasn't moved out. And I think she wanted to get closer to me, but I didn't want to get that close to her because she was still with Alan and he's still living there. Okay. And I wasn't letting it happen. And I was just,
it seems that the text, listen.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just talking about just in general what I see.
I know.
It sounds like the two of you were flirting on the texting back and forth. Mm-hmm. Did she ever tell you anything about her husband seeing anybody else?
Yes.
What did she tell you about that?
She just,
Oh, and how long was that going on for, if you know?
That was a little while after we had intercourse, that she would talk about the girl that worked at the paper route with them on the same, I guess they're together when they do the paper. Mm-hmm. But she says she's been known for a long time, I would suspect, and that they've been, Alan and that girl, they've been talking, I guess, like a little bit behind her back, and she had a gut feeling that she knew something was going on with Alan and that other girl, but she just couldn't pinpoint it. And then just recently, it finally hit her, because what happened was, Alan, a couple of days before this happened, Alan made a phone call to his mom in Italy, and he said to her that, Mom, I found a good woman, and it was something like he's moving on, and she heard that, and that really hurt her.
How do you know that? Is it something she told you or something that
it's what
she texted you?
No, it's what she told me.
When did she tell you that? Because I see your text messages going all the way from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it just happened a couple days before.
It didn't happen on text. It was talk.
What I'm saying is, if it happened in talking, she never texted. You guys never texted anything like that back and forth.
No.
Okay.
But she told me that he made a phone call to his mom, and something like that. I think he was going to have her come here.
This is the other detective that wanted to try to fix your. Mm-hmm. This is the other detective who wanted to take a look at your phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So she never really discussed on the texting about knowing about another girl or anything, right? Mm-mm. Because a lot of the texting says, I can't wait till he's gone, I'm wasted, that kind of thing. We can hang out later. Is that?
I don't know what kind of wasted, like maybe drinking.
Did she ever?
She never talked about drugs around me or nothing.
Did she ever talk to you, go over intoxicated or anything with you? Or did she ever talk about doing anything bad to her husband?
No.
What were her plans then, as far as you knew? Of the girl you really don't know that well. Do you really know her?
No.
Okay. Do you really know a lot about her?
No.
You ever seen the inside of her house?
No.
You ever been in her car?
No.
You guys ever eat dinner together?
No.
You had sex together?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't really know anything about her except she has problems with her husband. She can't wait for him to move out. Is that true?
True. And
Was he waiting for her to move out, or was she waiting for him to move out?
She's waiting on him to move out.
So what do you think her plans were? In your own opinion, which is just your own judgment, what do you think her plans were?
Well, she told me that she quit working the paper up because he's there.
Okay.
I told her, I said, look, if that's your only source of income, just pretend like he's not there and do your job. Because I didn't know how much money she had or anything like that. I just tried to help her. I just told her, until you find a job, my dad always told me, don't leave the job unless you have a job already. My dad always made that a rule to me. And I told her, I don't know how much income you have, but why lose your home, foreclose and leave a job if that's your only income?
Okay.
And I was trying to help her.
And did you guys have any more intimate relationship since that first time? Or is it, you had mentioned earlier that you may have tried and she said no? Or
Or
it just didn't happen?
It just didn't happen.
Because leading up to the text the text messaging sounds like something would have happened.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Well, we know it didn't because the weekend came by and we showed up.
Right.
So I don't know what would have happened or what you guys were doing. When you look at the whole thing, you heard her talk about her husband and their problems and him leaving and her wanting him gone. And then you had a relationship with her. What did you think was going on? Did you think that, were you worried about having a conflict with the husband? Did you think it was over? What did you think about the whole thing?
No, she told me, he's a real nice guy. He gets along with,
That's what she said?
Yeah.
She told you that?
Mm-hmm.
That he's a nice guy?
He's a good person to anybody. He's a real good guy.
Okay.
And he's got like 4 friends, or I think from work, that he hangs out with and all that. And he was just, after he was out, that was it. She's going to get her locks changed, her garage door changed, and that would be it. But I told her, I says, look, he's going to move in with this girl, and he might just find out the grass isn't green on the other side and come back. I said, things happen in life,
Mm-hmm.
People think the grass is greener on the other side and come back. I said, if he comes back to you, you should try to work things out,
What'd she say?
I don't want him back. I don't want him back.
And I think that was in one of the text messages that she mentioned that she wouldn't take him back even if he came begging back.
Right.
Not I don't know the exact words, it was something that I read it real quick scrolling through your phone. Even if he came back to me, I wouldn't take him.
Right.
Okay. So you, for all intents and purposes, you thought you were hanging out with a girl who was getting divorced,
Mm-hmm.
who had her husband was moving out, and she had what you call like a one night stand or a fling with you. And you were still friends with her,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't mean anything more than that?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever heard her saying anything that would lead you to believe that she wanted to hurt her husband?
No.
Did she ever say anything?
She kept all that to herself.
Did she ever say anything to you that sounded like she wanted to do harm to herself?
No, sir.
Did she ever talk about having any weapons in the house?
No, sir.
All right.
She
not
kept
that there's
everything to
anything
herself.
wrong. It's legal to own weapons in the house. I mean, but did she ever talk about that? I'm trying to figure out, when you spoke with her, did it sound like the relationship was over, or she was still trying to fix the relationship?
I believe she is ready for him just to move out and be gone.
So she was done and wanted to move on.
And she's been looking for work online, she told me.
Okay. What do you think?
She said that I want to get myself back before he was here.
Right.
Before I married him. She said when I was strong and I had a job and I had money.
Right.
She said, I don't know why I let myself go downhill like I did and depend on him.
Okay.
Because now he's the person I have to depend on to bring the money home.
Do you know of anything that happened just recently because you spoke to her. Did you speak to her on the phone all during the week or just text each other? I see the text where it goes from daytime to nighttime to late night to early morning, and you guys are texting all during the week. Do you guys talk during the week too? Did you see her at all during the week last week in the evening time?
Yes, sir.
Did she? Okay, when did you see her last?
It's just like the last time I saw her was the day before Christmas Eve. She came over. She was worried about her
That would be Friday.
Disney.
That would be Friday.
Okay.
That'd be the 23rd. That would be the last time you were texting her.
She was worried about him coming home and destroying her Disney things inside her home. And
for what reason was she worried about that?
I'm not sure.
You don't know.
He wasn't there at the time.
Did she say, I'm worried about him coming home for my Disney stuff?
Or picking up something of hers that she didn't want him to take.
Okay.
And
nothing specific?
No.
Okay.
And she said that she had his papers showing the U.S. citizenship papers. And I says, does he know that you have them? She's like, no. I said, why don't you just give him all his papers, his legal U.S. citizenship papers? Mm-hmm. Don't hold nothing from him. Give the man his legal papers. Mm-hmm. And, because if you hold something of his and he knows, he's going to get upset with you. Just give him what he wants. If that's what you want, I says, that's the best thing, It's his, it's his.
Okay. Did you hear her say anything or see anything that would be a reason for her to be that upset with him on this date that we're talking about, on Christmas Eve, on Saturday, Saturday morning? Did you hear anything the night before? Because you spoke with her the night before. Because the night before Christmas Eve was Friday, the 23rd. Mm-hmm. And you were texting her. Did you hear her say anything, or did she tell you anything that would lead you to believe that she was upset with him besides what you're telling me here?
She's just been upset with him the whole freaking time.
So you don't know if anything just occurred at the house that sparked her to do this?
No.
To hurt him?
No.
That's what I'm getting at.
No, okay. Sir.
Okay.
She kept that to herself. Anything that happened Christmas Eve, she kept that to herself. She didn't tell nobody. I know she didn't tell me or Trish.
Okay.
And that's why I was like,
okay.
Because when I left home and I went to Pinch A Penny for our swim pool to get a water tested, then I went to Home Depot, there was no police officers on our street. And that was around 12:30, I think it was, or 12:25, somewhere like that. I come home and there's everybody there. I'm like, what's going on here?
Right.
I was like, then, I found out, I was like, surprised. I was like, wow. I mean, I never knew anybody in my life to kill somebody. And, it hurts. And I just wanted to, talk to somebody like yourself to get it out because I'm tired of holding it in.
And what I'm trying to get to is you are a person who knew her. You're here because you knew her a little bit different. You had an intimate relationship with her just a week before this incident. I'm trying to get a little bit of an idea how she was as a person recently. Okay. And as far as you're telling me, she was a nice person. Mm-hmm. She was getting a divorce. Or her and her husband were splitting up. She didn't say anything mean about him or act out as far as you saw.
On the text, she just called him a bastard.
Okay, but that's nothing. I mean, nothing unusual in a divorce situation or a separation. You didn't see any of that at all. You didn't see any of that behavior from her.
Behavior like
she wants to harm her husband or anything.
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Okay. And you didn't question her about your physical relationship with her because you thought it was okay because they were getting divorced anyway, right? You didn't say, hey, what about your husband because you're having sex with her. You didn't say anything like, "What about your husband? What are we going to do with that?" Is there?
No, sir.
Never came up because you already knew that he was out of the picture, right? That he was moving out.
What she was telling me.
What she was telling you.
He was moving
Okay.
out.
All right.
And I mean, we got along great, but it seemed like every time we're together, she's crying,
Okay.
and she just needed company to be with, to talk to, good people that
Right.
wasn't going to jump down her neck and I guess do harm to her, by verbal.
I understand.
And me and my roommate Trish, we're just good people, and
All right.
we get along with everybody
Do
anyway.
you know who her best friend would have been? Who was her best friend? Did she have any best friends? Any people that came over to the house? Did she tell you if she had any close friends in it or anything?
No,
Nobody.
I didn't even know that Alan had a daughter, or adopted daughter. I
Okay.
guess that's who she is, the Alan adopted daughter. He adopted her or
You don't
something.
have to worry about. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, I just
You didn't, but you don't know if she has any close friends.
no.
As far as you know,
She told me
as far as you know, you're the closest friend that she has.
She told me her parents live in Brooksville and she's from Florida.
As far as you know, you're the closest friend she has, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
the closest, like across the street.
No, I mean the person that she's sharing the most intimate details about her relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know any of her other friends,
Mm-hmm.
you would assume that you would think that you're probably the person most close to her at
Yes.
the time. She might have 100 other friends, but as far as you know, you don't know any of those people.
Right.
So it's you.
Mm-hmm.
She's telling you everything. Okay. All right. So you never saw her do anything, out of the ordinary. But you really don't know her either.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, to know somebody, to have, I've got real good friends. I got a handful of friends and that's it. And that I would do things for.
Well, this is what I'm trying to figure out too. It doesn't really make a difference. I just want to know. Was Karen a girl that you were allowing her, you were sympathizing with her?
This is a crime circus presentation.
Was this just a girl you were trying to have sex with?
No.
Or was it a girl you were trying to have a relationship with? Or is it just something that happened?
It's just something that happened.
Were you listening to everything she was telling you because you wanted to have a relationship with her? Or were you listening to her because you were just bored? Or were you listening to her because you liked her? I mean,
I was listening.
not that it really matters. I'm just...
I listened to everybody, what they had to say.
Right.
I don't ignore it. And I'm not just some predator just wanting to have sex.
Right.
You know,
I see that. Yeah, I know.
It could have, went to a friendship. I get close to people. I mean, people who wants to be friends or try to be friends and, good neighbors and everything. Me and Trish, we help people out. I mean, I like to talk, help people out by talking, I don't try to start any fights or arguments or saying, anything bad about people, I just need somebody to talk to let all this energy, and I can't believe she done this. I mean,
What'd you hear? What did you hear?
when I came home from Home Depot, I seen all police cars. I was like, what's going on? I didn't know if Alan did something to her or she did something to Alan. Then Trish told me that she was in a police car. And I looked over and I saw her. And she told me what happened.
Who told you what happened? Trish told you what happened?
Trish told me
Okay.
that she shot her husband. And I could not go close to that street, all them people, the police car. I went in the back of my house and worked with the swimming pool, trying to get it clean. We're real close to getting it clean. Now it's really clean today. Looks good. And I messed with my water bed, shook up cans of clear, paint over my paint. I've been working on this water bed for a while, and I'm just about done with it. I just shoot the clear over it, let it dry, and I get to set it up in my room. And it's set up today. I try to do things to get that off my mind because I was hurt so bad I could not face her. I didn't want to go close that car. I didn't want to have nothing to do with no reporters, no TVs. Nobody talked to me. I was just so hurt. I had to do something to keep myself busy. I didn't want to talk to nobody, and I never had anything like this happen to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Where if I'd have known she was going to do something to this, I would have called the cops because I don't want to see nobody get killed. I mean, ain't nobody right be shot like that. I mean, it's just verbal. You know, if he came after her with a knife or another gun, of course.
Did she ever tell you, like I said, did she ever say anything about being physically harmed by her husband, Alan?
No.
Did she ever say anything?
She just scared.
Did she ever say anything about being afraid of him?
She is afraid of him.
Did she say why she was afraid of him?
No, she did not.
Okay. Did she say anything about him threatening her life?
No, sir.
Okay. Did she ever say anything about she's trapped in the house when he's home? That can she just walk out if she wants to? Is she? I mean, or they just argue? Or just you don't know if you don't know.
I don't.
Okay. Because she, like I said,
I'm just trying to remember. That's all.
Okay. She never said anything to you, and this is completely out in left field as far as what she did. As far as you're concerned, you have no. This is out of character for her, as far as you know her, which is really not that well.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else you can remember at all? Anything you think we need to know about?
What I told you, that's pretty much it.
You've never been inside their house before?
I never stepped foot in their yard or driveway. Never even touched the hair of their grass or their driveway. Never stepped foot.
Okay.
Only thing I see was the Christmas decorations and the fence and their vehicles from my side of the street.
Okay.
But that's it.
All right.
Until you told me what the inside their house looked like, you know, all the Disney and everything stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's as far as I know.
Okay. All right. Now you had mentioned something about somebody told you that her daughter wanted to speak with you.
Yes, sir.
Who told you that?
Trish, my roommate.
And what did she tell you?
She just wanted to talk to me and about Karen, what kind of relationship I had with her, maybe friend, or, you know.
What were you planning on telling her?
I wanted to talk to you first, and...
Well, I don't want to change your mind, or want to...
No, I didn't...
But what I'm asking, when you plan on telling her if her daughter asks you?
I was going to tell her she was a nice person. I wasn't going to say anything negative about her and Alan.
Did you tell Trish that you had sex with her? Did you tell Trish that you had sex with Karen?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you planning on telling Jamie that? If
Jamie,
she asked?
Asked the girl?
The daughter.
The daughter? Okay,
if the daughter asked you, are you going to tell her the truth? You're going to lie to her?
I wouldn't... I don't know. That's why I was coming to you, because I don't know what to tell her. I was wanting
I'm
to
not going to tell you what to tell her. You're an adult. You can figure that out yourself. I'm just asking you because I need to know if I talk to the daughter, if you say something completely different, I need to know if you're lying to her, telling her the truth, because you told Trish that you had sex with Karen, and that Karen now, the daughter, wants to speak to you directly about your relationship with her mom. And when the daughter speaks with you, I just need to know if you're going to tell her that you had a relationship with her, or if you're going to lie about it. That's all I need to know. So I know what to say. If she says, if she tells me, well, Daryl is said that everyone else is lying, he didn't have a relationship with my mother, then it's not being too honest. Now is it?
I think. Yeah, it's not.
She's gonna think I'm lying if it comes up.
I got you. I understand.
Or Trish is lying.
If we keep it between ourselves, I'll just say, I'd rather not talk about anything. But she was a nice person, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. And so if Jamie asks me anything like that, all I can tell her whatever I say, I'm not lying about it. And you told me the truth. Okay. So if she asks you,
I'm gonna say
you're gonna say no. Then she's gonna think that I'm lying.
Okay. Oh, so
she's gonna think that Trish is lying. She already spoke to Trish, right?
Trish didn't tell her anything about us.
So why would she want to ask you specifically about your relationship with her mother?
I think just as to
tell you what, let's just leave it at you're telling me what happened. If she asks me, I'm not too sure what I'll say at all, because I was in the impression that Trish told Jamie that you were seeing Karen, that you and Karen had a thing going.
I don't think Trish told her that we had a thing going. It's just Trish told her, she leaves at night and she comes over, just needs somebody to talk to as a friend relationship.
Okay.
A friend relationship.
No, that's not a bit. When we were in a car earlier, you guys said that the daughter wanted to talk to you about your relationship with Karen.
As a friend.
Well, you didn't say
think.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I thought it was because Trish told Jamie that you guys had relationships before.
Sir. No, Trish wouldn't tell her something like that. She's a better person.
All right.
She's very smart. She went to the academy, as a correctional officer. And Trish wouldn't say anything like that. I know she wouldn't. Trish a real good person, and she's smart. And so I think her daughter just wants to ask, a friend relationship. And what I tell her, I only knew your mother a couple weeks. She was real nice, friendly person. And she never talked about Jamie or anything, And
all right, we're talking about something a little separate anyway. That's
okay.
We're talking about her daughter, and
I just didn't want to say.
Do you know if she's very close with her daughter?
No, I don't. You
didn't know she had a daughter until this happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can add? Anything that you think is important that we should know about this investigation? Okay. And can you raise your right hand again? You swear that everything you just told me is the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Let me go see how they're doing on your cell phone. And I'll get you back to your job.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this way, you're not getting docked or anything, are you?
I ain't gonna complain if I do anyway.
All right.
This company's, you just go to work, do your job, go home.
Okay. You have my card, right? Here's one right here. Yeah, that's
Then the girl I broke up with.
You can take this one. This is fine too. Just have a seat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see how he's doing.